Buckle up, America. The political roller coaster is about to take another wild turn. Donald J. Trump, he of the spray tan and Twitter tirades, might be staging a comeback. Yes, the man who dominated headlines and social media feeds could be gearing up for another run. That's right, the man who turned American politics into a reality show could be back for a second season. A season that promises to be even more dramatic and unpredictable. And you thought the first one was wild. Remember the Muslim ban, the border wall, the bromance with Putin? Those were just the highlights? Yeah, those were just the trailers. The main event could be even more intense. We're talking about a full-blown sequel here, folks. A sequel that could redefine the political landscape, one that could make the original look like a picnic. The stakes are higher, the divisions deeper. Trump's presidency was, to put it mildly, divisive. He divided families, he divided the country. Hell, he probably divided the White House staff into Team Coke and Team Pepsi. His influence was felt everywhere. But love him or hate him, you can't deny one thing. He shook things up. He challenged norms and conventions. Now imagine that shaking, that rattling, that rolling amplified tenfold. The impact could be seismic. That's the potential of a Trump 2024 victory, a victory that could change everything. The question isn't whether he can win. The question is, what happens if he does? What will America look like under another Trump administration? What happens when the most powerful man in the world is someone who thrives on chaos? Someone who sees disruption as a strategy? What happens when the leader of the free world is someone who doesn't play by the rules? The answers could redefine the future of American politics. Here's a scary thought. Even after losing the 2020 election and facing 2 impeachments, Trump's grip on the Republican Party is stronger than ever. It's almost as if the controversies and setbacks have only fueled his influence. He's like that weird stain on your favorite shirt that just won't go away no matter how hard you scrub. The more you try to remove it, the more it seems to embed itself. His supporters? They're not just supporters, they're devotees. They follow him with a fervor that's almost religious. They believe his every word, even when those words contradict reality. It's a loyalty that defies logic and reason. Remember the big lie? The one about the stolen election? It's a narrative that has been debunked multiple times. Yeah, millions still cling to that. They hold on to it as if it's an undeniable truth. To them, Trump isn't a politician, he's a savior. A figure who can do no wrong. A businessman who tells it like it is. Someone who cuts through the political noise. A fighter who punches back twice as hard. His combative style is seen as a strength, but it's not just the base. His influence extends far beyond his core supporters. Republican politicians, many of whom once criticized Trump, now line up to kiss his ring. They have made a calculated decision. They need his endorsement, they need his voters, they need him to stay relevant. Without his backing, their political futures are uncertain. He's holding the GOP hostage and they're too scared to fight back. The fear of losing their positions keeps them in line. And let's not forget the legal troubles. They are a constant shadow over his legacy. The investigations, the lawsuits, the potential indictments, each one a potential threat to his empire. They're like dark clouds hanging over Trump world, threatening to rain on his parade. Yet, he continues to march forward. But so far, nothing seems to stick. His resilience is almost uncanny. He's like Teflon Don. Accusations just slide right off. No matter what comes his way, he remains unscathed. So, what does a second Trump term look like? Well, imagine a greatest hits album, but instead of songs, it's policies. Think tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation for corporations, and a whole lot of America First rhetoric. Remember the wall? Expect Trump to dust off those blueprints. He'll be tweeting about building it bigger, stronger, and making Mexico pay for it. Spoiler alert, they won't. Immigration will be a hot-button issue, with Trump likely pushing for even stricter policies. Trade wars? Oh, you bet. China will be public enemy number 1 again. Trump will slap tariffs on everything he can, claiming it's all part of his master plan to bring back American jobs. And then there's the Supreme Court. With a conservative majority firmly in place, Trump could push through his agenda with ease. Abortion rights, gun control, environmental regulations, all could be on the chopping block potentially. Remember that line from Trump's inauguration speech? The one about American carnage? It painted a grim picture of the nation's state. Yeah, well, a second term could bring even more division, more chaos, more anger, more distrust, and a deeper chasm between Americans. Imagine a country where political opponents are seen as enemies, not just rivals. where facts are subjective and truth is whatever Trump says it is, regardless of evidence. The media? Forget about it. They'll be under constant attack, branded the enemy of the people, and discredited at every turn. Trump will continue to spread misinformation, using his platform to manipulate narratives and sow distrust in democratic institutions, undermining their credibility. And what about the peaceful transfer of power, a cornerstone of democracy? After the events of January 6th, can we really be sure that Trump will accept defeat gracefully if he loses in 2024? Or will he incite his followers to take to the streets again, causing more unrest? The stakes are incredibly high, and the consequences could be dire. A second Trump term could fundamentally alter the fabric of American democracy, perhaps irreversibly. It could erode trust in institutions, fuel extremism, and deepen societal rifts. It could erode trust in institutions, fuel extremism, and leave the country more divided than ever before with wounds that may never heal.